Okay, good afternoon, students. Today we are going to concentrate on another new chapter, that is the fourth chapter, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. In Principles of Inheritance and Variation, we are going to study some 5 different topics. The first one is ABO blood grouping, along with that genetic control of RH factor. That is the first topic. Second one is sex-linked inheritance. And third one is sex determination. The fourth one, karyotyping and pedigree analysis. And the last one is mentally disorder. So these 5 topics that we are going to concentrate on this particular chapter 4. Now, today we will concentrate on the ABO blood groupings. Okay. Now, when you talk about this ABO blood grouping, the person who has discovered this ABO blood grouping is Carl Landsteiner. So he is the one who has first discovered the ABO blood groupings. Now, he has discovered this blood group called A, B and O with the help of the presence of antigen, that is 2 different antigens, that is antigen A and antigen B. A means antigen. So Landsteiner discovered for the A, B, O, these 3 blood groups based on the presence or absence of this antigen called A and B. That means there are 2 antigens are there, A antigen and B antigen. If these antigens are present in the human blood, that decides the presence of the blood groupings. If the antigen is not there, that too decides the presence of the blood grouping. So, Landsteiner, based on these 2 antigens, he has classified these 3 types of blood groupings. Understand? Right. So now, before we could start studying this antigen, blood grouping and all this, we have to understand a little concept called multiple alleles. So this is a very important concept you have to know when you study about the ABO blood groupings. Now, when you talk about this multiple alleles, you should understand the difference between 2 things. One is the gene and other one is the alleles. Now, every gene has 2 pairs of alleles. That means 2 forms of alleles will be there. Every gene will have 2 different forms of alleles will be there. So 2 forms of alleles. So these 2 forms, in the sense, one becomes the dominant alleles, which is represented by capital T or capital T small t. The other one is the recessive allele, which is represented by small t small t. So every gene has these 2 forms of alleles. So the one form is dominant and another form is the recessive. Okay, so this is the character of a gene. So now, if the gene decides a particular character, so the character is being formed or decided by or determined by the genes, the alleles brings variation in that character. So genes are responsible for the characters and alleles are responsible for bringing variation in the alleles. For example, if you talk an example for this character, we all use morning and night before you go to bed toothpaste. So toothpaste comes under a gene. So toothpaste is a gene. There are varieties of toothpaste. Talk about the mobile phone. Mobile phone is a gene. Talk about the various forms of mobile phone. Different companies are there. So all these are alleles. So that pair alleles. Understand? So gene decides a character, allele brings out the variation in the characters. So those variation may be dominant, may be recessive. So always the alleles will be present in the gene with two forms, either it is dominant or recessive. So we come to a conclusion that every character is decided by a pair of alleles. A pair of alleles decides a character. Now these pair of alleles are presented in the homologous chromosome. If this is one chromosome and this is one, so this is a pair of chromosome. If capital T is present here and this capital T is present here in same locus, locus means on same location, when it is transmitting from one generation to another generation, both inherits and gives you a character. So that is what two alleles responsible for giving you a character. This allele is present in one chromosome and this is in another chromosome. So when it is pairing, it is giving you a particular variation in the character. Now, why we are talking about these alleles and genes are, a vivo blood grouping is decided by multiple alleles. In the sense, here we talked about only two alleles. But when you talk about a vivo blood grouping, we are talking about three alleles or more than three alleles. It is not two alleles, it is three or more than three alleles are involving in determining the ABO blood groupings. Understand? Right. So how this is being done? That sense, the alleles, it is located on the same homologous chromosomes, and that means same chromosome it is located. For example, if the person who is having A blood group will have an allele like IAIA is a allele responsible for producing A blood group. Not only IAIA is responsible for this, even IA and IO is also responsible for bringing up the A blood group. So since here three or more than three alleles are involving in deciding a blood group called A, this blood groups, AB blood groups comes under multiple allelism. Understand? Right. Now, this multiple allelism brings out the blood group, and these alleles are presented in the chromosome number 9. 9 in the sense, we have got, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes are there. Among the 23 pairs of chromosomes, this multiple alleles are located inside the chromosome number 9, which was discovered by Bernstein, where it is there in the second paragraph, 1925. Okay, so that is the example for multiple allelism, and this multiple allelism was explained by Bernstein in 1925, and he has said that these alleles which are responsible for blood groups are located in the chromosome number 9. Understand? Right. So now that is what multiple alleles. When these multiple alleles inherits to another generation, that is called multiple allelism. When multiple alleles, when it is like this, inherit to the another generation, they are called, it is called multiple allelism, which is there on page number 45, first paragraph, last part. It is multiple alleles. It's a 2-mark question. Okay, right. So now we will come back to this ABO blood groupings. Okay, listen. Now, in the beginning we talked about the Landsteiner, who is the one who has discovered the blood groupings, 3 types of blood groups, A, B and O, with the help of the presence of 2 antigens, that is called A antigen and B antigen. So there are 2 antigens are present, don't forget it. One is called antigen A, another one is called antigen B. Now where this antigen is present? This antigen is present on 2 areas. One is on the surface of the RBC. In RBC, outer surface, it is the antigen is present, A or B antigen. Or even it is presented on the epithelial cells. So that means the blood group deciding antigens are presented on two areas. One is on the surface of the RBC, another one is on the epithelium. Okay. Now, after Landsteiner has discovered this ABO blood grouping, Landsteiner's students, they have discovered, it is there on first paragraph, last line, that is Castile and Stirling in 1902, they have discovered another blood group, a very rarest blood group or fourth blood group called AB blood group. Okay, so that is why totally we have got four blood groups A, B, AB, till that it was discovered by Landsteiner, and students have discovered another fourth type of rarest blood group called AB blood group. Okay, right. So now we will come back to this. Once again, I just recall it. Landsteiner has discovered three types of blood grouping based on the presence or absence of two different antigen called A antigen and B antigen, which is presented on the surface of the RBC or otherwise on the epithelium. Right. So now the person who is having blood group called A, so I will just put it BG. BG is for blood group. The person who is having blood group called A, in his blood there are two parts we will study. One is called the RBC. So you talk about, this is the RBC, and blood will have two things. One is a solid part called RBC, another one is called, the liquid part is called the plasma. In every plasma, in all the plasma will contain the antibodies. So antibodies are always present inside the plasma, and that is the reason we are having the treatment for corona, that is the plasma treatment, because inside the plasma antibodies are generated, synthesized when the virus has entered into the human body. So coronavirus has entered into the human body. Now the plasma cell produces more antibodies. So these things we will study when we discuss on chapter 7, immunology. Okay, deep time we will study about this coronavirus, all this antibody production and PCR, everything in advance we will study. Okay, right. So now we'll come back here. The blood group, person who is having A blood group, in this blood, two parts we are going to focus on. One is the RBC, another one is the plasma. Okay. So always the antibodies are present inside the plasma, and the RBC comes under antigen. Okay, and RBC is an antigen. Right? Now here, the person who is having blood group called A will have an antigen in his, on the surface of the RBC. He will have an antigen called A antigen, and the antibody will be B antibody. Okay, so person who is having A blood group, antigen is A, antibody is B. At the same time, the person who is having B blood group, same, in his RBC, he will have the antigen called B antigen, and in his plasma, I put it P for your understanding, plasma, in his plasma, he will have A antibodies. So, Landsteiner, if the antigen A is present, it is giving A blood group. So based on this antigen, he has discovered the blood group called A. The person who do not have A antigen will not have A blood group. So he will have, if he is having B antigen, it is called B blood group. Understand? Then O, the person who is having O blood group, same in RBC. He don't have, because only two antigens we studied. One is called A, another one is called B. So that means O blood group, there is no antigen at all. But still he will have antibodies in the plasma, that is for A and B antibodies will be there. Okay, so there is no antigen, that is why it is called O blood group. There is antigen called A, so it is called A antigen. Antigen called B is present, so blood group is B. Understand? So among this, A blood group is dominant, B blood group is dominant, and O blood group is recessive. Understand? A is dominant, B is dominant, O is recessive. When a person having both A and B or co-dominant. Don't forget it. These two blood groups are called co-dominant. Understand? Right. So now the blood group A, person who is having blood group will have an allele. Allele, say actually the gene which is going to control the blood group. The gene which is controlling the blood group is called L. Why we call it as L is because of the discoverer's name L. For Landsteiner, they have given the gene L. And in your book actually L and I both are given for alleles, but still it is an understanding that the gene as L and it is also called as I. The alleles are called I. Why? Because always the alleles involving in isoagglutination. Isoagglutination means clumping of the blood, clotting of the blood. If mismatch of the blood is given, A blood group person receives B blood group, all these blood cells will be getting clotted. So that is called agglutination. So based on this, he has given a word called isoagglutination for I. Okay, so if a person who is having blood group A will have an allele called IA, or even he will have IA and IO. Understand? Then a person who is having B blood group will have IB or IB and IO. Understand? The person who is having O blood group will have IO. So three blood groups we already discussed. One is called A blood group, another one is called B, and another one is called O blood group. Now the fourth type of blood group which was discovered by Landsteiner's student and the rarest blood group called AB. So when you talk about the blood group called AB, okay, and this inside the RBC, he will have the antigen for both. A antigen also will be there, B antigen also will be there, but plasma there is no antibody at all. Okay, so that means in this blood, these alleles are IA and IB. That's all. This is the allele. Clear? Now, this O blood group is called universal donors. Universal donor means they don't have antigen at all in their body. In their RBC, they don't have antigen. Whenever your immune system is, whenever antigen comes from outside into the body, antibodies are synthesized in order to fight with this antigen. Okay, it is called antigen because it is going to generate the antibody. That is why it is called antigen, generation of antibodies. So now, if this antigen enters into the body, again this antibodies are liberated in order to fight with this antigen. Now, O blood group person are called universal donor. So why? Because they don't have antigen at all. So if there is no antigen, no antibody will be synthesized in your body. So anyone can get blood from the O blood group. So O are the donors. In the sense, if you are having O blood group, you can donate the blood to any of the blood groups what we have seen there. Okay, because if I am an O blood group, if I don't have any antigen at all, that means it is not going to affect you. Is that clear? No clumping will take place. At the same time, AB blood group is called universal recipient. So RUR. So universal recipient is called UT. That means universal donor. Universal recipient means they have the antigen, but they don't have this antibody. But still, if they receive the blood from A blood group, they can receive it. Why? Because they don't have antibodies to fight along with us. B blood group, no antibodies. At the same time, O also, there is no antibody. So even antigen is entering inside, but antibodies are not produced. Is that clear? So that is the reason it is called universal recipient and this is called universal donor. Okay. So now, so far what we have studied is, we have studied about the Landsteiner's discovery of three type of blood groups based on the presence of A antigen and B antigen. The person who is having A antigen on the surface of the RBC are called A blood group. At the same time in plasma they will have B. And A blood group is decided by alleles IA, or IAIO. Okay. B blood group IB, IBIO. If the blood group of the father blood group is A and the mother's blood group is A, what will be the blood group of the child? In the same, see, if it is the father's blood group is IAIO, what kind of a blood group it is? A blood group only. Because A is dominant, I already told you. O is recessive. Dominant allele is present, dominant character only will be expressed. So father's blood group is A, so he will have a chance of having IA and IO. It's a chance of having it. Mother also may be IA and IO, because it is a chance of, this is called heterozygous condition. Hetero means two different conditions. Homozygous means these are all homozygous conditions. In the question set they will ask you whether the father is homozygous and the mother is heterozygous. Okay, so I just told you if the father is having just A, mother is also A. I have not talked about the heterozygous and homozygous. So now here father is having A blood group, so the allele is IAIO. Mother is having blood group IAIO. What will be the possible blood group for the child? That is A and A. This A and A joined together gives you A blood group, and this gives you O blood group. So child A blood group is also possible, or O blood group is also possible. Understand, if father is A, mother is A, does not mean child should be only with A. There may be heterozygous condition also, that is called IA and IO. This much you understand about the antigens. So far we are concentrating only about the antigens called A antigen and B antigen. But these two antigens play a very important role in deciding determination of the ABO blood groupings. Okay, we talked about the antigen, we talked about the antibodies, at the same time we talked about the alleles also. Is that clear? Right. Now, another thing, the difference, why another part that is played by this antigen that we will see now. Is that clear? Right. Okay, so far what we have studied is the Landsteiner, based on the presence of antigen, he has discovered three different types of blood groupings. So that means antigen are responsible for the determination of the blood groupings. Second one, this antigen also makes some chemical difference in the blood group of the person. So that means the chemical differs from one person's blood to another person's blood. So now here, when you talk about this allele called IA and IB, this together, IA or IB, all this together produces an enzyme called transferase enzyme. Anything that ends with A is called enzyme. So now our blood group antigen is also different. If a person who is having A blood group has only A antigen, he do not have B antigen. Person who is having B blood group will have antigen for B, but he don't have an antigen called A. So there is antigen is also different. That means presence or absence. Second one, A blood group person will have certain chemicals in their blood, and B blood group person will have another chemical component in the blood. So now here, this A blood group and B blood group together gives you an enzyme called transferase enzyme. So now when you talk about the blood group A, this blood group A, that is G, B, blood group B, G for blood group. Okay. So the person who is having blood group A will have an enzyme called N-acetyl galactose transferase enzyme. Okay. So the person who is having A blood group has an enzyme called N-acetyl galactose transferase. This will encode an enzyme called N-acetyl acetyl galactosamine is an enzyme. Okay, so this blood group A will have this enzyme called N-acetyl galactose transferase will encode another enzyme called N-acetyl galactosamine. So this enzyme is present only for the person who is having A blood group, and it is not presented in the B blood group or O. So similarly, the person who is having B blood group will have an enzyme called galactose transferase enzyme, and he will and this enzyme will encode another product called galactose. Okay, so this is an enzyme. So now this enzyme is only galactose transferase will encode galactose present only for the blood group called B. Okay, and the person who is having O blood group do not have this transferase enzyme at all. That is why I have given A and B. No transferase enzyme, so they are called null alleles. They don't produce N-acetyl galactose transferase, or they don't produce galactose transferase enzyme. They don't have this enzyme at all. That is why the blood group, blood differs chemically from person to person. So two things we have studied. Blood differs antigen, based on antigen blood is differing. Based on the chemical blood is different. So this chemical nature is also decided by the presence or the absence of this antigen called A and B. Okay, so presence of antigen decides the blood grouping, at the same time differentiate the chemical from one blood group to another blood group. Is that clear? Right. So two parts we have discussed now. One is the blood group decided by the presence of antigen. So you know which antigen should be there on the surface of the RBC, what will be there in the plasma, and what are the alleles possible. Okay, at the same time we have studied about the chemical component presented inside each blood group A, B and O. Is that clear? Right. So now next part we will study a flow chart in a tablet column regarding the same, what are the antigen we studied, what are the antibodies we studied, everything, as well as if a child, okay, we will talk about a situation. Take a child who receives the blood group, one of the blood groups, that means a person who is having A blood group, so I put it as IA, B blood group, IB, then O, so among these three. Okay, if a child receives one of these blood group from each parent, so that means this is parent number 1. Same if he receives now from parent number 2, that is IA, IB and IO. Okay, this is parent number 2 and parent number 1. If the child receives one of these alleles from each parent, what will be the two things? What will be the genotype of that child and what will be the phenotype? Pheno means what is the blood grouping. Genome means which gene decides the blood grouping. So naturally you will find some 6 genotypes and 4 possible phenotypes. Okay, if the child, this is the parent 1, this is parent 2. If a child receives one of these alleles from each parent, what will be the genotype and what will be the phenotype? So that we will study now here. If he receives A and A, so that means if a child receives blood group IA and IA, this is a gene, alleles. So it gives you a phenotype called A blood group. IA, A, there is no O inside. So one from the parent number 1, parent means father. Parent number 2 means mother. Okay, so take one from here. This is one and this is one you have taken it. So you have written here IA for A allele. And the same IB, IB. So from father IB, from mother IB, he will have B blood group. Okay, then from father O blood group, mother O, he will have O blood group. Okay, right. So now if the mother blood group is father blood group is IA, and the mother is IO. So he will have a blood group called A only. Why? Because O will be recessive and A is dominant. Okay, that is. Same if it is IB, IO, he will have B blood group. The same time, if he receives A from one parent and B from another parent, he will have AB blood groups. Okay, so this is an example. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 phenotypes. Sorry, genotypes. And the phenotype is 1A is there, 1B is there, 1 O is there, already A is there, already B is there, and 1 more AB. So you get 4 phenotypes A, B, O and AB and 6 genotypes. So that means here I will just erase this and tell you again the genes now. So now we will talk for the blood group called A. So this is a blood group A. Now what will be the antigen? Antigen? A antigen. Very good. What will be the antibody? B antibodies. What will be the genotype for A blood group? IA. So what blood group? A blood group. What is another genotype? IO. What will be the blood group? A blood group. Very good. So suppose person who is having B blood group, antigen is called B blood. Very good. Antibody? A antibodies. What will be the genotype? IB, then IO. So everything together gives you B blood group. Okay. The person who is having O blood group, antigen? Very good. So no antigen. Antibody A and B. What will be the genotype? IO. What is the blood group? O blood group. Very good. Then person who is having AB blood group, what will be the antigen? A and B. What will be the antibody? No antibody. So the allele is IAIB. What will be the blood group? AB. So these are all the phenotypes. So here we have together A blood group is there, then B blood group is there, O blood group is there, and AB is there. So you get 4 phenotypes and genes you find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 possible genotypes. So if a child receives one of these alleles from each parent, these are the possible genotypes and phenotypes which is there given in the box. Is that clear? So that's all about your ABO blood groupings. Next we will study about this RH factor. Clear? Right. Please go through the book. Okay. So far we were discussing about the blood groups A, B, O, AB and the antigens involving in this, chemicals involving in this. Now we know what are the alleles presented in the ABO blood grouping. Then we also know what is the antigen present, what is the antibodies present, and if parent is having a particular genotype blood group, what are the possible genotype and possible phenotype for the children. So all this we have studied. Now we will focus on the second aspect of this blood group. It is the RH factors. Now, as Landsteiner discovered 2 antigens, antigen A and B on the surface of RBC, Landsteiner and one more to that called Alexander Weiner. Both Landsteiner and Alexander Weiner, they have discovered one more antigen on the surface of RBC. So if this is an RBC, already they have found out 2 antigens called A and B. So based on this presence or absence only, we have decided the blood groups. This doesn't mean the blood group at all. Now, one more antigen they have found out on the presence of this RBC. That antigen is called D antigen. That antigen is called D. This antigen is present in a species of a kind of monkeys which belong to a species called rhesus monkey. Rhesus. Okay. So this kind of a factor is called RH factor. So you can note down that one. So here you have the monkey. It is Carl Landsteiner in 1940 and Alexander Weiner. They have found out a new type of antigen called anti-D in the monkey called rhesus monkey. So this is a monkey which is belong to a species called rhesus. Okay. Now this is a species. The genus is called macaca. So macaca rhesus is a monkey. Below that, this monkey is having a particular type of antigen is blood. That antigen is called D antigen. And this antigen only they have named as RH factors. Why RH factor? Because this RH is present in the rhesus monkey, so it is called RH factors. And the same type of antigen is also present in some of the human RBC cells. Okay, the same antigen which is there in the monkey is also presented in the humans. So those who add this antigen D in the blood group of RBC are called RH positive. The person who is having this RH factor or the D antigen on the surface of the RBC are called RH positive. From where they found out this RH factor? In the monkey called rhesus monkey. It's a species rhesus. So in this monkey, actually this is a species, so I have to write down only in the small letters. So it is called rhesus monkey. Okay. So the genus name is given as Macaca rhesus. Okay. So now that is one more question. It is called Macaca rhesus. Okay, so this is a genus and this is a species. So in this species only they have found out this RH factor called antigen D. The same antigen is present in the human. Those who have this D antigen are called RH positive, and those who don't have this D antigens are called RH negative. So the A blood group person who is having antigen called A antigen, if he is having this RH D antigen, he becomes A positive. If we don't have this D antigen, they are called A negative. Is that clear? So RH determines the positive presence or absence. Okay. One more important thing that you have to understand regarding this D factor, that is the D antigen, that is, these RH factors are immunogenic. See, immunogen means gen means generating. Okay. Generating immunogen. Okay, here the immunogen or immune response, otherwise it is called immunogen will produces immune response. Immune response means production of antibodies are called immune response. Anything that stimulate or initiate to produce antibodies are called immunogen. Okay. So now here this D antigen or this RH factor is called immunogen. In the sense, this antigen has the capacity of producing antibodies. You got no. See, immunogen means generation of immune products. Generation of immune products means immune response. The other word for immune response are called antibodies. So, here immunogen means it will produce or it will initiate the production of antibodies. Is that clear? So here the RH factors are called immunogen. That means what do you mean by this? RH factor or RH antigen will initiate antibodies. Understand? You're clear? Immunogen means generate antibody. We call RH factor as immunogen. So that means all the RH factor So here you got RH factor in his blood. So that means he is having RH antigen. If the RH antigen is there, it will generate antibody. So a person who is having RH antigen or D antigen will also have D antibodies. The person who don't have RH factor will not have antigen and antibodies. This much you are clear? That is why RH factors are called immunogen. Immunogen is nothing. The immunogen has the potentiality of generating immune response, generating antibodies. So here the immunogen is the RH factor. That means D antigen. So D antigen produces or initiate antibody. So RH factor is present in the blood means he will have RH antigen at the same time RH antibodies. If you don't have RH factor or D antigen, he will not have antigen and the antibodies. Is that clear? Because this statement is very, you have to understand, then only we can go further. Okay. So far what we have discussed is, we are talking about RH factor. Landsteiner and Alexander Weiner in around 1940s, they have discovered one new type of antigen on the surface of the human RBC called D antigen. They called this as D antigen as RH factor because while they were doing a research work in the monkey called rhesus monkey, they have found one antigen in the monkey's blood called D antigen. So they named that RH antigen. The same antigen they have found out in the human blood of certain person. So if it is present, they are called RH positive. That means they will have antigen and antibody for RH. If it is not present, they are called RH negative. In the sense, they don't have RH factor. That means they don't have RH antigen, RH antibodies. Understand? Right. So now, we will come here for a little small calculation part of it, a problem. Now, RH negative person, okay, receives blood from RH positive, okay, RH negative, in that sense B negative takes blood from B positive, okay. Now since we are talking about this RH, we will concentrate only on the RH factors. So RH negative person receives blood from RH positive. So negative, no antigen, no antibodies, okay. So he is going to receive the blood from this kind of a positive. So I will write it here as receiving. Who is receiving blood? RH negative is receiving blood from RH positive. So he don't have antigen and antibodies. Now here when you talk about the positive person, he will have D antigen and D antibodies. Okay. So now if he receives negative person receiving positive blood, okay. So this antibody enters into his blood. So antibody is produced. Okay. Now this okay for the first time. This is okay for the first time. That means first time antibody is generated in his body because there is no antibody at all, but first time antibody is generated. Okay. Second time when the same positive blood is given to negative, already antibodies are there. So when it enters inside, it is a problematic for this person. Why? Because antibodies are already liberated. Okay, so the RH positive, negative person receives the blood from RH positive, that's anti-D, that means antibody D is formed. Okay, so that is very important here. And this antibody is called anti-D antibody. This is formed in his blood. Okay, this is one situation. Second situation, if you talk, Rh positive person receives blood from Rh negative. Will it be a problem?
No, sir.
Why, sir? No.
So because
Because he is very good. He is having antigen and antibody, but here no antigen, no antibodies. In emergency situation, if a person is met with an accident, loss of blood, is a positive, B positive. The B positive blood is not available. B negative blood is there available. You can easily transmit the blood to the B positive. Okay, so it is possible for emergency situation. Understand? Because Rh, that is the beginning I told you immunogen. Rh positive means antigen also will be there, antibody also will be there. Negative means no antigen, no antibody. So you need not worry at all. So Rh negative, positive person receives the blood from negative, there is no effect. But Rh negative receives the blood from Rh positive, it is a problem because anti-D will be generated. Is that clear? The same situation, we will talk another situation. So situation number 1, we talked for positive and negative. Situation 2, we talked for positive and negative. So if you are the doctors and you are in emergency situation where you have to transmit the blood, we will go for positive blood, negative is possible. But the blood grouping should be similar. B means B. Okay, if it is not for B, giving A, that becomes a problem. Even a person is surviving, then he will transmit the blood, he will die. Understand? So, blood group should be similar. Rh factor may be dissimilar. Only in the case of positive, negative. Okay, so positive person receives blood means it is no problem. But negative person receiving from positive means it is a problem. Is that clear? Right. So, third situation we are going to study the same Rh factor if it is present in the mother and the fetus. Okay, that we will discuss now. Okay, now the last part in this ABO blood grouping is incompatibility of Rh factor, which is there below the end of the paragraph. It is incompatibility. Incompatibility means not matching. Okay. So one more paragraph is there on the top of it that we will study afterwards. That is the genetic control of Rh factor. That separately we will study. Okay. So now we are going to study about some non-matching of the Rh factors. So before that, we already know Landsteiner and Alexander Weiner. He has discovered a new type of antigen on the surface of RBC is called D antigen. Okay. And this D antigen is called as Rh factors. Now, those who have this Rh factors are called Rh positive, and those who don't have this are called Rh negative. Okay? Those who have Rh positive will have both antigen and antibodies. Those who have Rh negative will not have antibody as well as antigen. So no antigen and antibody. Now here, this Rh positive are always called as dominant. Okay? And Rh negative is called as the recessive characters. When we talked about blood group, A is a dominant, B dominant, AB co-dominant. Those who have Rh positive are also dominant for positive because they have antigen and antibody. Now Rh negative are called recessive because they don't have antigen and antibody. Understand that? Now, if a mother blood group is Rh negative, mother's blood group is Rh negative, marries a father whose blood group is Rh positive, what will be the blood group of the child? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Why positive?
Dominant.
Beautiful. So the child's blood group is RH positive. Why? Because dominant trait will be getting inherited. Okay. If take the situation, mother is RH negative. Okay. Father is RH positive, and the fetus will be RH positive. This is a problematic for incompatibility of RH factors. It is given there. Incompatibility, that means not matching of RH factors. In the sense, the mother's RH, fetus RH should be similar always, maximum, not the father and the fetus. If your mother's blood group is positive, your blood also will be positive. If your mother is negative, your blood group also will be negative. Maybe it is A, B, that don't mind. Positive, negative, RH factor. If your mother's blood group has RH negative, means fetus should be RH negative. Mother is RH positive, means fetus should be RH positive. But here, see the situation. Mother is negative, fetus is positive. So this situation is called incompatibility of RH factor. RH is not matching. So it will lead to a condition, a disease called erythroblastic. That means all the RBC blast, destroys, lyses. So to the fetus. So a disease takes place called erythroblastic fetalysis. Fetalysis. Okay. So this is a disease only when the mothers and the fetus RH factors are not matching, incompatibility. We will study how it is happening. Okay. This much you understand. Now what we are going to concentrate is, we are going to study about the incompatibility of RH factors. That we are focusing on a disease called erythroblastic fetalysis. Okay, or hemolytic anemia. It is also called as hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia. Anemia means reduction of RBC. Hemolytic means all the RBC are destructed. Lytic means. Okay, right. So now I am taking situation, two situations. So first situation is the pregnant situation of a mother is pregnant for the first time. So pregnancy 1. Okay. And the second situation, again the mother is getting second time pregnant. So pregnancy 2. There are two situations talking for this incompatibility antigen. Mother is pregnant for first time and the same mother is pregnant for second time. What mother is? Mother is negative. Mother is negative. Fetus forming is positive. Why? Mother has got married with a positive of RH. Okay? That is why negative is very rare case. Maximum will be positive only. That is why positive. Understand? Right. So this is a situation where mother is negative. So I just take down that situation here. In this, mother is RH negative. And the fetus which is going to form in the womb of the mother is RH positive, because father is RH positive. Okay. So now I will draw the situation here for your understanding. Now this is the mother's body. Okay. And this is the fetus. So mother, I told you, negative, and the fetus is positive. Okay. Now this is a mother and this is the fetus. Okay. Now mother RH negative. Here the fetus inside is RH positive. Okay. Mother and the fetus are connected by a structure called placenta. Very important structure for providing nutrition, exchange of gases and all this. Okay. Now, this is the first pregnancy. Mother is negative, fetus is positive. Okay. Till the time of delivery, there is no mixing of blood between the fetus and the mother. Okay. Mother negative means no antigen, no antibodies. But fetus, presence of antigen will be there, antibody will be there. So we will talk about this antibody. So I will talk D antibody. Here no antibody at all, no D antibody, but here D antibody is present. This situation you are clear? Mother is pregnant for the first time. Mother is Rh negative. In her blood, no antigen, no antibody, that is D is absent. Fetus Rh positive, he will have antigen D, antibody D. Okay, we are not going to worry about the antigen, we are going to worry about the antibodies. Okay, right. So both are connected by the placenta. Till the time of delivery, there is no mixing of the blood. At the time of delivery, the placenta is removed. Placenta is cut. When the placenta is cut, fetus blood now it is mixing in the mother's body. Okay? Till delivery, no problem. At the time of delivery, when the child is removed from the uterus of the mother, from the womb of the mother, that time, when he cut the placenta, the blood is introduced, child's blood, fetus blood, it introduced. So I just put it in the same color, green color, so that you will understand. Fetus blood, now it is introduced into the mother's body. Okay? So that means a new blood is introduced, so mother's body, D antigen is synthesized. First time, D antibody is produced, anti-D or antibody D is produced. So far no antibody. First time, because of this introduction, antibody is produced. This much you are clear? Take second pregnancy. Second pregnancy. Now in mother's blood already you have anti-D antibodies present from the first delivery. But still mother is Rh negative only. Mother is negative. Antibody is there. Negative, no antibody should be. But here, antibody is there. This antibody will not do anything to the mother. Why mother don't have any antigen at all? So nothing to worry for mother. The mother again she is conceived. Again now the fetus is Rh positive. Second delivery. Rh positive. Now what happens? Already antigen D is there. Anti-D is there. Antibody is there. Child will have antigen D, antibody D. Okay? This anti-D enters into the fetus, destroy this antigen. When the antigen is destroyed, automatically all the RBC is reduced, becomes hemolytic anemia. And this leads to the death of the fetus. The fetus cannot survive in this situation. Here, nothing, no problem. First delivery, no problem. So, second delivery time, second pregnancy, again if the mother is conceived with the same kind of a fetus, already in her blood now, anti-D is introduced. Second time when the child is there, this anti-D will destroy the RBC of the fetus, leads to erythroblastic fetalysis or hemolytic anemia. Understand? Not only that, the child will have some jaundice, some anemic problem, all this. Ultimately, the child will die. There is a remedy for this. There is a treatment. There is a prevention method for this kind of a situation. That is what is given in the last paragraph. Last paragraph, page number 48. Last paragraph, prevention of erythroblastic fetalysis. If the mother is Rh negative and the fetus is Rh positive, anti-D antibody should be administered to the mother at 28th and 24th week of gestation, as gestation is pregnancy period as a prophylactic measures. Okay, if the mother is negative, fetus is positive, you have to give anti-D antibodies. Again, this antibody, the antibody should not come up. So you are giving anti-D antibodies. Okay, so in mother, you are giving anti-D antibody is given. Okay, again that D antibody. So that means here you will have antibody D. So the treatment is giving anti-D antibody is given against this antibody. So that antibody will not have any effect to the another fetus. Is that clear? When you have to give 28 to 34 week of gestation. If the Rh negative mother delivers Rh positive child, then anti-D antibody should be administered to the mother soon after the delivery. Okay. Next, this develops passive immunity. One more question. And prevent the formation of anti-D antibodies in the mother's blood by destroying the Rh fetus. Fetal RBC before the mother's immune system is sensitized. So this is done whenever the women attain pregnancy. Okay, so that is what the Rh incompatibility is. Okay, so far what we have discussed is we studied about the 4 types of blood groups, the role of antigen and antibody, the role of alleles, how the genotype and phenotypes are formed, as well as the chemical nature of this blood group. Finally, we studied Rh negative person receives Rh. What is Rh factor that we studied? Who has developed that? Where they have worked? So all this we studied. Finally, we also come to a conclusion about Rh positive person receives Rh negative blood. What will be the situation? Rh negative receives Rh positive. What will be the situation? And finally, if the mother is negative, child is positive in first 2 pregnancies, what are the problems and what are the prevention methods? Is that clear? So the next class we will be concentrating on another new topic, genetic control of Rh factor. We will study end of this syllabus. Okay. So next class we will be concentrating on sex determination in human being and other organisms. Okay. Right. Thank you.